I'm going to tell you this story, and I hope that as I share my own story, that it actually brings some clarity to you, and hopefully it brings some safety to your heart, some transformation, but also that it inspires and motivates you to do something differently. So I want to talk about a time where I bared my soul, and I'm going to share with you what happened when I did this. So years ago, I went to a class in Bali, Indonesia. It was during COVID, and we were going through lockdown. And so a lot of us had a lot of time on our hands, and there was a breath work class that me and my friends signed up for. And when we went, I was really excited about it. It was something new, and a lot of times with breath work, things come up in your emotions that you're not expecting. Hey, really quick, would you just like this video for me? And if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do that. And in the comments section below, tell me if you like my pretty yellow dress. And so it was really interesting because after we did all the exercises, I started to learn that this was not a breathwork class, that this was a very different class, and what the teacher was doing was something I had never seen before. And so at one point after we're doing the exercises, everybody's laying down on the floor, and it was so funny because all of my girlfriends are laying on the floor like this, and I can hear all of them going, and they're all just crying, and I'm like, looking at them and thinking, I'm not crying, I'm pissed off, I'm angry, I have rage. And I'll never forget, the facilitator looked at me, and she was this beautiful German woman with bright blue eyes, and she looked at me and she said, "Oh, you have rage." And I said, "Yeah, a lot of it." And she said, "Come here." And so she started giving me different exercises to release this anger that was in my body. And I had never, ever experienced that before, because all my life I had struggled with a lot of anger, a lot of rage. I would keep it kind of hidden from everybody because there were a couple of times where my friends saw this side of me and they would say, "Arica, that is so bad. Like, you need to do something about that." And when I heard that, all it made me do was feel embarrassed. It made me feel shameful, like I needed to hide this part of my life. But really, that anger and that rage was just parts of me that were really hurting, that felt really sad, but didn't know how to release it. You know, some people just say, "Oh, you just gotta let it go." I think this is the stupidest advice I've ever heard, because what does that mean to just let it go? And what this therapist, what this facilitator was doing was she was teaching me how to not just let this go from my head, but from my body and from my heart. And because I trusted her so much, I kept going from class to class to class, that I ended up hiring her to be my own personal therapist. And so because I kept seeing her and I kept showing up and doing the work, I began to share parts of my story with her that I wasn't even telling myself. Things that happened in my life and in my past that I could never face, that I could never confront. But because I wasn't talking about these things, I just kept staying angry on the inside, and nothing was changing. Even though I would try my best to get better, it wasn't until I actually just started really sharing my heart and my soul with this therapist that I felt safe with, that I was able to actually start finding some real peace in my life. There may be something going on in your life where maybe you struggle with anger, or maybe you struggle with depression, or maybe you struggle with anxiety. And the reality is there are things that are going on underneath that you're not allowed to release, that you're not even talking about to yourself. You're hiding those things from other people, and you're hiding them from yourself. And what happens is, babe, is you are making yourself your own prisoner. Now, a lot of my clients and even my friends will all come to me and they'll say, "I'm telling you things, Arica, that I've never told anyone." If you're looking for a safe person to help guide you through those things so that you can feel free, feel peaceful,